Massacre inside the school. We have Kelsey Friend, she's a freshman, and we have David Hogg, he is a senior.
David Hogg. David is a senior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School.
People are going to keep saying, oh, this is just another shooting. It's never going to happen to me. But what happens is when you don't take action, things like this eventually will happen to you. I wanted to have a good story to tell.
The story we want to share with you. David Hogg was in school when the shooting started. His father is a retired FBI agent.
Anyways, I was able to reunite with my father, who's a former FBI agent.
David Hogg, we're joined by him now. We just saw him in the classroom.
Honestly, most of the time I thought it was a drill. And I think many of us did that.
A lot of you did, didn't you?
Yes, because we had heard things said that we were possibly going to have a code red drill, which is an active shooter drill.
While some students report going through an active shooter drill at the school, others received less training.
We did have meetings with our teachers about where we need to go, what we should do in these situations, but we never had an active shooter drill.
Joining us now are two students who survived this massacre inside the school. We have Kelsey Friend, she's a freshman, and we have David Hogg, he is a senior.
Our first response was, that sounded a lot like a gunshot. And we close the door. We tell our teacher she closes the door, and right after she does that,
Culinary arts teacher Ashley Kurth sheltered dozens of students in her classroom, including David Hogg, a senior at Stoneman Douglas High.
5 of those students from Parkland, Florida, join me now. David, I think I overheard you saying earlier that you're not ready to go back to school until you at least hear some talk of change, some talk. What is it that you're looking for?
what I'm looking for is reasonable change with the United States Congress and bills that are passed before I get back to school. I was in my environmental science class when the first gunshot echoed through the hallways. About to pack up to leave for, we were about to leave school and we hear a pop, and it happened to be a gunshot that echoed through the hallway. I want us to take action, and I don't want this just to be another mass shooting. I want this to be the last mass shooting.
Wow, David, you are a well-spoken young man. Again, David, I am blown away with how eloquent you are. I mean, it's stunning to me.
You're exactly right. David, you are so poised and so articulate. I've seen many interviews with you.
And now on to an eyewitness, a student who was at Stoneman Douglas as this horrific event unfolded. David Hogg is joining us now from Broward County.
My God, David, you've got a better action plan than our own elected leader.
She called me and she was okay. She was actually hiding in the back of our TV production set of the newscast where I'm actually news director for our school, WMSD TV.
Wow. David,
When we were about to pack up to leave for, we were about to leave school and we hear a pop, and it happened to be a gunshot that echoed through the hallway. And because of that, my teacher actually, this event happened on Valentine's Day. So many people lost loved ones. Our community and our nation have taken too many bullets to the heart, and now is the time for us to stand up. I support the Second Amendment, but for God's sake, how can we knowingly pass bills and laws that are in direct opposition to saving kids' lives?
This wasn't a firecracker, this wasn't a drill. Stoneman Douglas survivor and student journalist, forget student, journalist, David Hogg is here with me now. David.
Sandy Hook, the Pulse nightclub shooting, and Vegas, just to name a few. You're not actors, we're students. You're not actors, we're students.
I mean, this had to be a terrifying time.
It was absolutely horrifying, but that's absolutely terrifying.
David, as terrifying and awful, awful.
Because of her heroic actions, towards Chef Kurt's heroic actions, that nobody that isn't a true hero could do.
I've heard you say you're not a hero, but clearly you are to a lot of people.
Because he certainly doesn't need more attention. Young heroes like you do.
Thank you for that.
Did you know this young man?
We're habituating to this. That's unacceptable. And that's not acceptable, and that's why I call on people to stand up. Because at this point, it's unacceptable. I just want people to hear that this is unacceptable. this was not a drill. This was a major situation, but we actually thought it was a drill initially because we had been hearing about having a possible code red drill, which is essentially a drill where we have an active shooter drill to ensure that we can survive this type of situation. And after that, we knew this was not a drill, it was anything but. And we realized this was anything but a drill. This was life or death.
Walk me through. You thought it was a drill, and you only knew it was real from looking at headlines in your phone?
And that's how we knew this was anything but a drill.
So laundry area. So it was, and all you could.
I heard the gunshots, and I've heard the shooter walk down the hallway, shooting more kids. I've heard a young man crying for his mother dying, and it was just hard because you don't imagine this happening to you. You see it on the news, you see it everywhere.
Kelsey, it's unthinkable. It's unthinkable.
He is not moving. She said, I don't know if this is real or fake, because we had rumors going around the school that the police would do a fake code red with fake armed fake guns, not actual, but sounding real. And I thought at the beginning that this was just, it was all a drill, it was just a drill.
But we actually thought it was a drill initially because we had been hearing about having a possible code red drill, which is essentially a drill where we have an active shooter drill to ensure that we can survive this type of situation. I knew that if I was going to die with those around me, I wanted our voices to carry on and precede the ages of time, because even if our souls couldn't, our stories could still have an impact. Because I realized that if I died and if everyone else around me died, I wanted to have our voices heard. And if we couldn't carry on throughout time, our voices would echo through those videos that I recorded.
He thought to himself, if he and his classmates die in this closet, what would their stories be? And you thought to yourself, if you should die here and your classmates, what do you want us, the world, to know about them?
What I'm looking for is reasonable change with the United States Congress. Our stories could still have an impact and cause some real change in this country, and that is certainly something that we all need right now. Stand up and take action. We don't need ideas, we need action. And take some action, because ideas are great, but without action, ideas stay ideas and children die. Especially if we don't take action to step up and stop things like that. What we need more than that is action. We're children. You guys are the adults. You need to take some action.
Do you have a sense of what kind of action that would be?
Any action at this point, instead of just complete stagnancy and blaming the other side of the political aisle, would be a step in the right direction. Because this is not the time for inaction and debate. Politicians refuse to take action. Please, take action. Take action, work with Congress. Your party controls both the House and Senate. Take action, get some bills passed, and for God's sake, let's save some lives. Importantly, the American public must take action if we're going to prevent the next shooting. Because the next thing you know, if you let this keep happening, it's going to be your kid that's next. We can make an actual change, and who knows, maybe we'd save some children's lives. Don't make any more false promises, because when you do, children die. Not for any political agenda, but for the lives of millions of school children. How dare you? Children are dying, and their blood is on your hands because of that. The fire alarm was pulled so this sick man could come and get more soft targets. The fire alarm was pulled so that this sick man could get more soft targets. The fire alarm was pulled so this sick man could come and get more soft targets.
It was like a movie scene. There was gunpowder all on the floor. It was just so real, but it felt so fake at the same time, and I couldn't comprehend it until I just started screaming.
Of course it did. It's impossible for a 14-year-old mind, or any mind, to get around what you all endured in there and what you had to see. Our brains are not built to have to see this. Of course it goes into, this must be fake, this must be a movie.